headlamp or headlight? I think I'm turning American. USA, USA. Catch inside. RevelatorAlf. I enjoyed that. Welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well in these testing times. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com if you like the kind of stuff that I do. And if you don't, then don't. So in recent videos I've been getting quite a few comments from people, you guys out there, saying, Alf, you're using American words like triple trees instead of yokes, or gas station instead of a garage, or whatever. The problem is it's guilty. I cannot give any excuses. I'm just guilty of it. I've got to say, I'm actually always thinking in English words, and I use the English words all the time, but actually the American words come out all the time. Now some of you might think, well, what's the difference? Well, I think the problem is, because I deal with a lot of Harley Davidson type stuff, well, a lot of the terminology is in American for the most part. You go through the catalogues, it's all American speak, as it were. So there's that element. The other element is that I used to live there as well, in the United States, in California, many years ago, so some words still do trickle through as well. So I do apologize. It's not intentional. I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. It's just one of those things that happens. But as I say, you know, lots of the things when I'm talking about Harley Davidsons in particular, it's just easier to use the American terminology because you know, a lot of people in America, you guys out there who are in America or Canada, you'll be using those terms as well. So you might not understand yokes, for example, when I'm talking triple trees, or foot pegs, well, footrests instead of foot pegs. It should be, but you know, mud guards, I would always say mud guards instead of fenders, that kind of thing. Anyway, enough of that. So sometimes, you know, the odd word or two does slip out. So yes, I am turning American, I suppose, in my videos, USA and all that kind of stuff. Right, anyway, one of the other words that some people use is headlamp. Okay, maybe it's an American word, I don't know. Actually, I would always say headlight. It's always been headlights for me in the UK. It's always been headlights. I suppose some people call them headlamps, but that will be headlight for me. And that gets me on to my next subject, which is the headlamp or headlight on the Softails, the M8 Softails in particular, but you could apply the same logic to the Taurus as well with the M8s. I'm really talking about the M8s here. Let's get into it. Okay, so as you can see on my headlight, the LED headlight on the Sport Glide here, the M8 Softails, it's rather messy and muddy. Now, you might have seen the videos I've done recently about putting an aftermarket LED light on there, and I bench tested it. It's really good. A company sent it through to me. The unfortunate thing is that it actually won't fit on here, and the reason is there isn't actually a mounting bracket on the light. So the headlamp or the headlight which was sent to me needs to fit in a nacelle. It needs to fit in the housing itself, and the housing needs to be what incorporates the bracket. So the housing is what you bolt onto your yokes or your triple trees or your forks or whatever you're going to bolt it onto. So if you've got the 5 3/4 inch, or if you've got the 7 inch like is here, basically the housing is really just cosmetic in many ways. It just keeps the dust off. So whether you got the 5 3/4 inch or whether you got the 7 inch, this this bezel ring around it actually is just a cosmetic. Again, it's more of a retainer to hide the mounting screws on the back. So you undo the little screw on there. Now lots of people have been asking me, how do you get these off easily? Yeah, they're a bit of a pig, I've got to say, but you need to pry it apart and pull it off. There are kind of little springs or metal flaps on the inside, and there isn't a way of just rotating it until there are gaps for it to come out. You just need to pry it apart very gingerly and it will come apart. The LED light itself, or the lamp itself, on the back there is a mounting bracket, and that mounting bracket is what is bolted on underneath. So to take the headlight unit off, what you need to do is undo the electrical connector underneath the fuel tank on the side access behind that rubber boot. Then you need to undo the bolt, take the whole thing off. Then you take this retaining bezel off. Then you undo a couple of screws, and that takes off the outside bracket, which bolts it onto the housing, and then it all comes away. Then you remove the bracket, which bolts onto the LED lamp itself, and then you can change whatever you want to do. With the aftermarket headlight, which I showed you, you can't put that bracket onto that headlamp, okay, or that headlight, that LED headlight. So it needs to have a special bracket for it, or you need to change the whole housing so the headlamp goes into the housing, then the housing is the bracket, as it were, and then you bolt that on in the conventional sense, like you have the two side plates. I don't want to do that. What I'm going to try and do is actually find another type of housing for the headlight, and then see if I can mount it which won't interfere with the fairing fit as well. That's the key thing here as well. If you've got the 5 3/4 inch, there's also an extra little back plate as well behind the mounting bracket. So you know there's a slightly different fit between the 5 3/4 inch and the 7 inch, but essentially they're exactly the same. Anyway, so headlamp, headlight, it's all the same thing. The LED headlight for me is a really good one on the Sport Glider, at least. I've got these auxiliary lights which really do shine up the road at night, which is really good. Lots of people have been saying actually that headlight which I was showing you, it's illegal to use all those multicolored lights here in the UK especially, and it's only allowing yellow and white light. That's true, but all those extra colors which I'm showing you, I suppose you could class those as show colors. When you're not riding on the road, you're going to a show, you want to put some different lights on, that's what they would be used for, I suppose. So as I say, I've been getting lots of comments about this ring here, how to remove it effectively, and you need to just pry it apart and it will come away, and pull it away. Also I've been asked about putting extra LED lights on there, and if there an alternative mounting bracket. Yes, there are a couple of companies now that are making the actual LED mounting bracket, an alternative to Harley Davidson, so go check those out if you will. Right, anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to get back on the road, or the highway, and well, catch you again on the next video. But don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, check out the website RevelatorAlf.com, and I'll catch you again on another video coming very soon. Bye now.